Hello everyone and assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum to the panelists also. My
Walaikum
name is
salam.
Noman Syed. I'm CEO of SA Global Solutions. I'm the moderator for today's important session, which is about business development strategies for Pakistani startups. Technology is very important, plus it's playing its role in in various economies, and Pakistan is also getting benefits and moving in the direction to get maximum out of technology. And there are nurseries for every business, and startups are nurseries for tech industry in Pakistan. With this, it's going to be a very exciting session. I would also like to thank CxO Forum and CxO Management for having regular podcast on various important aspects of business and otherwise. And they are available on YouTube channel, their YouTube channel of CxO, where you can see previous live sessions also. So with this, I would like to introduce my panel. I would be grateful if we start from Junaid Khan, then Atif, Mukhtar, and then Mujtaba Saab to introduce themselves. Please, Junaid Saab.
Ji, thank you so much, Noman Sab. Ji, my name is Junaid Khan. I am working as Chief Commercial Officer here at Softoo. So, my background for the last, I would say, a couple of decades, I've been involved in the IT sector, primarily been working with different multinationals in the telecom space and IT space. And for the last few years, we have started this venture called Softoo. Softoo basically is an IT services company that has been working for the last 7, 8 years in the market. And we are primarily geared towards serving the North American, US, and Middle East market. Currently, we house more than 350 resources. We are headquartered in the UK, but our technical workforce is located out of Islamabad. And it's really a pleasure to be with you guys and hoping to contribute to this session, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Junaid Saab, for for your detailed explanation and giving us a brief about what Soft2 does and your own experience. I think you have good long experience. I think the audience will benefit from your expertise. Ji Atif Saab.
Assalamu alaikum everybody. My name is Atif Mukhtar. I am a graduate of FAST back in 2002, and then I started my career in SAP industry from Siemens Pakistan. I've got around 20 years of experience working in SAP. I've been in traveling all over the world for my delivering my services. I've been to US, the Middle East, and especially delivering services in Pakistan market. So now I've been associated with Agha from past 4 years. I'm working over there as a manager business applications, and my role demands all applications that comes under Agha or somehow or the other comes under my umbrella, and then I have to look after it in a way that we seamlessly operate without any hiccups. So this is what I've been doing from past 20 years.
Wonderful, Asif Saab. Another, you have 2 decades of experience, so it would add more. So right now we are at 40 years of experience. I'm not adding mine. So, Ji Mujtaba Saab, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So, compared to multiple decades of experience, I only have a single decade of experience behind me. So, I think that makes a even 50 number. So, that's good. So, my background, educational background, is from IBA with Bachelor's of Computer Science as well as MBA Marketing, and that's why we started off Digital Eggheads, which is a complete 360 marketing solutions and software solutions organization based out of Pakistan, Karachi, and then we expanded to UK, Canada, and US as a registered entity over there. My personal job description or my personal role is to generate business. That's why I handle the director of business development role, and we are currently serving both local and international clientele. And Alhamdulillah, it has been a very good experience so far. Hoping to learn a lot from all of you, and will try to contribute a little bit from my side.
Okay, thank you very much. So, with this, we start the session, and I I think since you are the youngest one amongst all of us, so I start with you. We should start with you first, and because you have recently started your business, so I think you come under the category of startups. So just tell me, what are the challenges, and what is the ecosystem in Pakistan for startups?
So if I start off with my basic education, the thing is, we are not educated in terms of how to establish an organization, how to run it properly. We get to learn it from our peers and our seniors of how to get into the role of entrepreneurship properly. Even though I had the privilege of learning in the one of the best education institutes, so we still had to look out for our alumni chapters to understand how these things are done. And I think barrier to entry is not that difficult. It's just the awareness of how to do so is something that we need to look into. And then you need to make business plans that are sustainable. Because if you look into the past of Pakistani startups ecosystem, many of the startups that even raised huge amount of fundings like Airlift and other organizations, they couldn't sustain it because they were very growth focused in terms of hyper growth. They spent a lot of money, they were burning a lot of money, and which looks nice, of course, when we see big billboards, but in reality you have to build a sustainable business which is at least cash flow positive to a certain extent, or it is gets profitable or break even at a certain level so that you can extend it. In my research, I found out that only 10% of Pakistani startups sustain themselves after first or second year. So this is something that I think is one of the major problem right now. And I think it's getting into a mature market as we go further and people are learning what pitfalls to avoid. So that I think is one of the biggest challenge, but it's also an opportunity if we learn about it and we can become a mature market. I'm sure organizations such as CRED, which is now a unicorn and $1 billion organization in India, we can foster some of those organizations in Pakistan as well.
Very good. But what are the current trends in terms of ecosystem for startups?
Yeah, so as a digital marketing agency, we get to work with a lot of new startups as well. So if you look into digital banks such as Rakami, Hugo Bank, these are up and coming startups that are getting fundings and they are growing. Then it comes down to Edufy, which is a first education loan to students in Pakistan. They raised $6.1 million from Zen VC. So I think the most common trends that we can follow is fintech, health tech, agri tech, ed tech. These are the upcoming trends in my view, that are going on right now, and I think there's plenty more to be done in this sector as well.
Wonderful. So, Junaid Saab, over to you. Uh, what could be the value proposition which can be offered by these startups, especially in Pakistan?
Right. Um, so I believe, for any startup to be successful in any society, um, it needs to address the local problems faced by the society. One of the issues that I see with some of these startups is that they get the idea from a foreign market, and they just try to come and replicate that idea in Pakistan. But every market, every society has got its own challenges, has got its own issues. So I believe to have a strong value proposition, first of all, you need to see what problem you are trying to solve, and then if that problem resonates with the local population or not. So for example, if you take the story of how Easy Pesa, for example. If you take the problem statement of Easy Pesa, what the problem they were trying to solve with Jazz Cash. This is a problem that is faced by the society where people face challenges where there is no banking available. Then people they face this problem that they need to have these small transactions. So I believe that first of all, any startup that is number one, that identifies a problem that needs to be solved, and then secondly they come up with a solution that addresses that problem in a cost effective and technically sound way, stands a chance of success. Whether it is in health tech, whether it is in e-commerce, whether it is in transportation, logistics, any industry, if it is a problem that actually exists, and they're able to solve it, rather than just following the trends of the Western market and trying to enforce that solution over here. So I've seen some exciting startups coming in the, for example, agri sector, where they are trying to come up and solve the problems faced by the local farmers. There are startups in the health care sector where they're actually trying to bring telemedicine to the far flung areas of Pakistan. Similarly, within the e-commerce domain, there are solutions. There are startups who are working to solve the local problems. So I believe if you have a local grounding, you are ready to invest in the local problems, you can always build a strong and successful startup.
Wonderful, Ji. As Mujtaba was talking about sustainability and long-term view, you mentioned about give some examples of startups and the areas which can be touched upon, and some successful stories like Easy Pass and Jazz Cash, where there was a value and there was needed solution. So over to Atif Saab. Atif Saab, what would be the benefits of forming strategic partnerships in Pakistan?
Yeah, actually, what I believe from my prior experience in industry is nobody can do everything by himself. So he needs to have a speciality with him, or the organization has to have a speciality to that it excels in, and that speciality needs to be capitalized with the life cycle of the organization. As the organization is just a startup, it won't be able to capitalize on the strengths that it has. But later on, once it establishes itself in the market, it can deliver some cash cows products to the market and deliver services accordingly. So this is what I would suggest is we can have multiple fronts, which I would say cooperation instead of competition. So people should work together as a team. Organizations should have collaborative culture to deliver services in the market, whether it's Pakistan or it's abroad. Since Pakistan is also a very educated market, and we have a lot of digital solutions that are being placed on our table these days. It's all about picking the right solution for your area of concern, and having said that, you need to also understand the cost effectiveness that Pakistan has. As resources are here in Pakistan, it's not very expensive for us to hire resources. We can hire and we can educate our resources as we need according to our demands, and then provide services to our competing markets. That's
True.
what I would say. Yeah.
Okay. So, very important aspect that you just touched upon, horses for courses. Uh, what do you think that what would be the advantage of networking for startups?
Yeah. So earlier in the life cycle of the organization, it's very important to have connections, whether within in Pakistan or abroad. More connections do you have, more it's applicable for your area of expertise to deliver services. So it's very easy nowadays to build connections. You have LinkedIn, you have WhatsApp, you have StreamYard, you have Teams, you have what not available, to go and talk to people around and build collaborative culture. Actually, with Agha Steel, I'm also running my own startup with as a name of Ekra Consulting, and this is a second kind of a company that I'm running, which has the knowledge of SAP expertise, and I use this expertise that I gained from 20 years of experience and deliver solutions to all a part of the world. So recently, I got entangled with another company, which is a Dubai-based company, and we are servicing some clients in Saudi market. So this is like we build connections, and these connections help us build our business. And similarly, I got some connections in Pakistan with a company which is established in Multan. You won't even know the name of the company, but it has around 4,500 clientele in Pakistan. And in the industry, every industry that you go and visit, they have connections over there, and they've been in market for about 35 years now, more than my 20 years of experience. So this is how people are working nowadays, and it's very easy to get business if you have the right kind of mindset.
Okay. So, what are the funding opportunities available for startups, and what could be the strategies?
Is it open for all?
For yes, I'm asking Atif Sab. I'm asking you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of uh, venture capitalists nowadays available. It's European market or it's Middle East market. You can avail that facility in even in Pakistan. Our Minister of Education, Minister of IT, is also working on a funds arrangement for startup companies. So there are a lot of available facilities. It's all about how you connect yourself to the right person, and if you have the right business model with you, people are more willing to help you organize yourself to deliver services. So earlier it was all about yourself. So you have to develop yourself. You have to arrange your funds yourself. It's very difficult to get funds arrangement, but nowadays it's more convenient now.
Wonderful. Thank you. Now coming back to Mujtaba, I mean, how is there a something? Is there a system in Pakistan where you can rate startups in terms of rating or top five or top 10?
I think most of the data that's available is usually based out of how much money that they have raised and what's the growth trajectory that they have. There are platforms such as Crunchbase, which gives you some bit of information on which you can try to rate startups, but that I don't think there is a very concrete way of valuing a company in Pakistan so that we can actually surmise the actual value of the company, that whether it's a $50 million company, $10 million company, or $15 million company. And I think more than that, we have to look past the valuation. We have to see what value proposition they bring towards the economy, what they bring towards Pakistan as a country as well. I love what Junaid Saab said, that we generally try to find a good idea internationally, bring it over here, and try to fix it. You can take example of Kareem and Uber. Uber was a carpool system in US, and Kareem tried to make that system in Pakistan, but carpooling will never work in Pakistan. You will rarely share your ride. So they pivoted towards basically having a customized or private taxi experience. So in that way, coming back to your question, if we can value or rank such startups, I don't think there is any such
But
platform where we
let's
can
talk
go on.
about in terms of number, if you can, and if you know some who have raised who have done fantastically well or doing well as a
Yeah, so
startup.
basically, in one of my IBA peers, Trax Logistics, Mohammed Hassan, they have raised a good amount of money for their startup, around $3 million. Then Savior has raised good amount of money. But if you look into higher side of things, I think the highest raise that has been done in our Pakistani startup industry is Airlift. Besides that, Suel was one of those who raised a lot of money. And besides them, there are multiple companies. I follow Nadeem Saab from Planet N. He used to make very good infographics of which startup in which industry has raised how much money. So I think there needs to be a formal platform where we can see the company's current status and how they are doing, and that can be very informative for up and coming startups to make sure to take paths that are more sustainable, basically.
So, what do you think one should consider before starting up or setting up a startup? And if they are there and they're willing to expand, what should they look at?
So first
Or
of
the
all,
areas they should be very careful.
yeah, so basically, coming up with a very solid business plan is very important, and doing the research. One thing that we lack in our industry is research. We just want to get rich quick, we want to make money quickly. And I think we don't do the proper due diligence whether we are solving a problem or not. Again, touching on the points that Junaid Saab said, that every startup's first fundamental rule should be about solving a problem. If there is a problem that exists, there needs to be a solution that needs to be implemented. And if you can make money on the way, or you can create value proposition, I think that should be the core gist of a startup. Find a problem, make a solution. That's it. Simple as it is.
Okay, now we touched upon challenges, we touched upon the potential, we also touched upon examples, we also touched about financing strategies. So, mostly we depend on foreign companies or foreign investors to invest in IT. Uh, what do you think could be a model where startups can be supported from within Pakistan and from banks and maybe State Bank can help those startups to grow just like in
Not
other
on,
countries.
not only
Right.
state
Just
bank.
just like just like in other countries, like our neighboring countries, there are a number of examples.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that?
So there, I will take one of the examples that I love the most is Shark Tank. So local entrepreneurs that have made it in their time and that have made money, have that expertise, have that experience behind them. We don't have such a ecosystem for our startups. We really need some sort of a platform where we can gather the industry leaders and have a discussion with them, have young entrepreneurs be in front of them to discuss their business ideas, get them on board on their business ideas for whatever equity is being offered. And maybe that can pave way for more success stories, because once you will have a young entrepreneur who is full of life, full of energy, wants to do something, and then you have another entrepreneur that has gone through that phase of life, knows the pathway, knows the obstacles, and knows the ways around those obstacles, I think. So first Shark Tank US started, then Australia started, and India is in the third season of their Shark Tank. So why can't we have some sort of similar platform over in Pakistan, where these established entrepreneurs can help the young entrepreneurs with their organizations and make a very eco-friendly startup system where we are not dependent on foreign income or foreign investment for our startups to grow.
Thank you, Mujtaba. You touched upon very
Noman, if I can just
important topic.
if I
Sorry,
can
please.
just add, yeah, if I can
Yes,
just
please,
add
please,
into this what
please.
Mustafa was saying. What is the problem in Pakistan? The problem in Pakistan is that if I have money, see, I have a few, let's say I have a few crore rupees or, a few billion rupees. What I would do is just, I would buy a plot in DHA or Barrier Town or, whatever is the society that is coming up. And I will just, park that money over there. I will sit on it and I will wait for the plot values to go up, and then I will call myself an investor. So this is the culture in Pakistan, unfortunately. Why is this? Because we don't tax wealth, we don't tax property. We have no way of bringing this wealth into the real actual market. So people like Mujtaba, people like Atif or myself, who want to do ventures, who are looking for this investment, they will never get access to this investment, because people are more than willing to sit on that plot or those commercial properties and wait for a few years and then sell it and make money, easy money. So we are after that easy money. So unless and until, and it's not just millions of rupees, it's billions and trillions of rupees that is sitting there idle in that market. Unless and until that we have a mechanism to bring that, no state bank in the world can actually fund startups. In any vibrant market or economy, you would see a collaboration between the people who have money and the people who have skill. You can start programs like Shark Tanks, you can do whatever, but unless and until you change this culture where people are willing to take these bets on these young entrepreneurs, they are willing to invest in these startups, you need to change that culture if you really want to see a booming startup ecosystem in Pakistan.
Very rightly pointed out, Junaid Saab. The other aspect is just like we all are discussing. It's about creating an opportunity in a way, just like, you know, it was not from the heaven. आसमान से तो नहीं गिरी थी ना ये बिल्डिंग और कंस्ट्रक्शन. किसी ने इसको मार्केट किया था और उसमें से रिटर्न्स आए तो एक्सपीरियंस बेस्ड. दूसरा होता है पैसे की सिक्योरिटी. दैट्स एन इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट जिससे लोग डरते हैं कि भाई हमारा पैसा सिक्योर है या नहीं है. एंड दैट इज वेयर अगर गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज और रूल्स इस तरह के बनाए जाएं कि स्टार्टअप्स में आप इन्वेस्ट करें तो वो एक कायदा उसको वॉच कर रहे हैं, तो एक छोटी सी अमाउंट भी अगर इन्वेस्ट करें और उसका कोई गारंटीड रिटर्न हो, जो भी स्टार्टअप हो वो उसको बेयर करे. सो आई थिंक दिस कैन ऑल्सो बी अ गुड प्रॉपोजिशन. बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा और बड़ा अमाउंट देने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, छोटे छोटे अमाउंट दे सकते हैं. And and sorry, secondly is that we need to also see के startups के अंदर जो women contribution है या बच्चियों की contribution है वो बहुत कम है. It's very maybe 1 out of 100 या 2 out of 100 होंगी. So अगर these girls can work from home and have their own startups, हमें कोई बहुत बड़ी एग्जांपल्स पाकिस्तान से नहीं मिलती हैं ऐसे स्टार्टअप की जो वुमेन ओरिएंटेड हो और उसने घर से शुरू किया. होगा शायद, मे बी नॉट टू माई नॉलेज एट दिस पॉइंट, बट होगा तो सरफेस पे नहीं है, या है तो नज़र नहीं आ रहा. सो we can also together form such a thing where we can support girls to come into the startup area. So Junaid Saab, other thing that we lack, and I think where the challenge is about adapting to technologies and providing timely solution and watching about trends. So what happens is के भेड़ चाल है, डॉक्टर बन जाओ, इंजीनियर बन जाओ, डिजिटल मार्केटियर बन जाओ, बस पैसे बन जाएंगे, उसके बाद क्या है कुछ पता नहीं है. So we think we are still living, we are in an infancy stage, and I want your opinion on that.
So yeah, I think absolutely, I agree with you. The other day, in fact, um, there was a friend of mine. He arranged this, you know, awareness session for teenagers, and he invited me to speak on career counseling. And although I'm not an expert in this, but what I saw and what I talked to those teenagers in that session was, we need to think beyond medical and engineering, because now gone are the days where you can just limit yourself to these fields. I believe there is a lack of guidance. There's a lack of awareness amongst the youth. Alhamdulillah, things are improving. People are now realizing that technology is important, and people, especially the kids that are coming up, they are um, more eager to know about these emerging technologies. But again, I believe that what I've seen is that the curriculum that is being taught in our universities, that is outdated. The workforce, the IT workforce that is even coming out of these universities. So I hire people left, right, and center. We have a big team. We are hiring continuously from the Pakistani market, but the challenge we face is that the workforce that is coming out from the universities, they are not at a level where they can be, plugged into the workforce immediately. You need to train these people, even in the, common ethics and communication skills, soft skills. technological skills, there is a big gap. So I think that overall, this is a big gap, and I would say that um, uh, out of all the workforce that is coming out, all the people who are graduating from the universities in the IT sector, I won't say that more than, I would say 15 to 20% are employable. Rest is, I don't know what we are producing, why we are producing, and it's so hard to find good people in Pakistan who can actually work with international clients, who can work on international projects, and they can deliver. So it's a big challenge for us, and
Gee,
especially
true that.
over the last year or so, with the way things are going, people are leaving the country. Unfortunately, the talent is leaving Pakistan. Unfortunately, that is another challenge that we are facing.
True. And Junaid Saab, what would you say about regulatory infrastructure for startups in Pakistan? Are they challenging, or what is your suggestion or take on that?
So my take is that um, the regulatory infrastructure that
मासूमाना
we
सवाल
are
है मेरा.
जी जी बिल्कुल, आप मासूमाना सवाल करके जो है ना वो हमारे ऊपर डाल रहे हैं, और फिर जो है वो सो यू नो
No, I'm part of it and I own you guys. Don't worry.
so, I'm a big optimist. I always believe in Pakistan. I always believe that we have a lot to offer as a society, as a country. I have always believed in this country. That's why I'm sitting here, and I'm trying to contribute. But unfortunately, the regulatory framework, or whatever is there, it is not supporting the startup culture. Rather, it is, I would say, it is damaging the startup culture. And I believe that there is no consistency of policies. If you talk about the regulatory framework, there is no clear, uh, एक जो तसलसल चाहिए होता है ना policies, you need a continuity of policies and a continuity of structure that is not in place. And because of that, people who want to uh, do these ventures, or who want to start their own companies, they would rather register these companies outside rather than registering them in Pakistan. They would rather deal with the regulatory framework of a foreign country rather than dealing with Pakistan. And that is a big challenge. I believe that our government and those people who are responsible for this country, they need to really think big, think hard, and please, for God's sake, start supporting, in reality, start supporting the tech ecosystem of Pakistan. Not just giving statements on the media, or just giving statements on LinkedIn, but actually doing something in reality.
Thank
But
you, Junaid
I'm
Saab.
always optimist. I always believe in this country and the talent
No,
that is available in
of
the
course,
country.
we all do. We all
Yeah.
do. That's why we are all here, and we are proud Pakistanis. And there are a number of good examples, especially in tech sector, where we have done phenomenally well, and we are continuing to do that. Government is also acknowledging this sector, and that is the reason that startups are mushrooming, companies are growing, tech revenues are increasing, and since we are in an infancy stage, so obviously things are shaping up and coming up. So Atif Saab, coming back to you on this, continuing the subject. So the regulatory demands or the statutory requirements that we have for startups, are they easy, or what can be done to make it more friendly for startups? Or you think
I
they're
think it's
already friendly?
becoming, yeah, I think it's becoming more easier. 10 years ago, when I was establishing this company, Acre Consulting, I don't even know what statutory requirements are, what regulatory requirements are. So there was no updates on the website. There were no digital channels available to understand what is required, what sort of business plan should be given when you are registering a company in Pakistan. But nowadays it's easier. But the thing is, what I believe is there is a Thanedari culture over here in Pakistan. If somebody is doing good over here in Pakistan, people are saying, where the money is coming from? Where is he earning from? What is he doing? Instead of promoting and helping him grow further, they try to pull him down. So this is the kind of culture Pakistan has. But this is a challenge that we are facing. It happens in every other part of the world as well. But we need to, if there's a chance available for us to improve this, we should improve it so that others who didn't face this situation didn't have to rely on false information. That's what I would suggest.
So, what do you think that role of bodies such as Pasha, PACB, and others in the sector, especially with regards to startups? So, you think that they're encouraging and they're creating inroads for young guns to come up and what else to or what are
Frankly
the challenges?
speaking, yeah, frankly speaking, PSCB and Pasha are more tech oriented. They are not doing vertical industrial solutions and then helping organizations grow in that. So they are more like software graduates and who have done successfully in their careers, and now they are part of PSCB or Pasha. They don't know, if I'm talking about financial industry, what financial industry wants. If I'm talking about agri sector or health sector, what health sector and agri sector demands from them. They are just there to help organizations survive, but they are not helping them grow. That's what I would suggest.
Even survival is आजकल के ज़माने में सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट है. सो अगर ये भी क्रिएट कर रहे हैं तो इट्स अ ब्लेसिंग इन डिसगाइज. बट डू यू थिंक दे आर प्लेइंग देयर पार्ट इन टर्म्स ऑफ providing opportunities and creating an infrastructure or creating an environment? Or do you think it's
Actually,
more politicized?
actually, what I would think is after 10 years of my establishing this company, I registered myself as a organization in PSCB. Otherwise, I am not part of it. I don't know what people are gaining from this partnership or membership from PSCB or Pasha, but it's very easier for us to gain market access if this is the only reason why we are parting to Pasha or PSCB. But if you say you need to gain access to certain markets and you don't have access to those markets and you need government collaborations to help you enter into these markets, then I think they play a role over there. Besides that, I don't find anything profitable from becoming a partner of Pasha or PSCB.
Ji, thank you, Atif Saab. So over to Mujtaba. Okay, we have touched upon a strategy, we have touched upon implementation, we have touched about startup funding, we have touched upon regulatory requirements, we have touched upon growing market and how to be ahead of times. But all this relies upon education. Education is very, very critical, especially in the tech sector and otherwise also. So, can you just give your opinion on that? And do you think that is the tech curriculum is supporting the growth for IT and other sectors, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's one of our nation's weakness that our curriculum is outdated and obsolete in terms of tech or any other department you pick it up. And if you see what is being taught in schools, which is the foundational layer from where students get to know about different subjects. And if you talk about specifically the IT or tech sector, if you pick up Interboard or Synboard and pick up computer science books, you will see what is being taught, and it's absolutely outdated. And I think this is where we differ from emerging markets or developed countries, where they are being taught almost latest technology stacks. They are being taught what they are about, what is low code, what is no code, and these things are missing. If you talk to a metric student or intermediate student, you will find that they don't even know about low code or no code. If you talk about AO level students, they are still a little bit aware, but still we are way behind that. And our curriculum has to be updated to reflect what's going on in the world right now. Our, if you come
Okay.
towards institutes, if you discuss what is being taught in the first semester, by the time that they graduate from their bachelor's, it's already outdated. You need to teach students to keep themselves up to date. Everything can't be taught, everything can't be taught via books as well. You have to be a self learner, and that skill has to be taught, that you need to do your own research. You have amazing platforms such as Coursera, YouTube. You can utilize and leverage those platforms to self educate themselves. One of those things that I was discussing with my peers, they said one thing that was being taught at FAST was to keep yourself up to date, was to research on your own and figure out what's going to be the next big thing. If you are unable to do
You're
so,
absolutely right, Mujtaba. The challenge is that we need to have standardized curriculum for primary, secondary, and college and university level. I mean, there is a big gap when we provide service and compete with international players. Do you think it is correct to say that this is the case, or you have some other observation?
no, that is the case. If you build a good foundational layer, a student who is in his young age wouldn't know what's going to be best for him or her in the future. So if they don't get good foundational basis, they will never be able to grow out of it. Alhamdulillah, we are the ones who are privileged that we are sitting here and discussing all of these things, because one way or another, our parents or the circumstances led us to explore these options. And if it weren't the case for others, they'll never get out of that shell, and Pakistan will remain where it is right now. So I think for every nation or a country, education is one of the most important thing that you need to invest in. We need to bring that level of education to a standard where SIN board, federal board, inter board, AO level, everything is almost on the same playing field, and then they can compete with each other to elevate each other. And that's
That's,
where
that's
you need.
exactly so. In short, what we should have is a standardized curriculum, because since technology is in infancy stage, we can have a standardized curriculum all across Pakistan, which can be adopted in their own ways, and so that it can provide a platform for youth to exchange technology related subjects and knowledge from various websites and various informations. Plus exchange can be done through universities
Yes.
at a national level. Maybe what we can do is collaborate with different countries who are friends, through which we can ask universities to come down and share their views, or also have a university in Pakistan or a college in Pakistan for technology. In this way, it will raise the bar. What is your
Noman
opinion
sir,
and take on that?
Noman sir, you can see how many IITs are there in India. The US has MIT, Harvard, Columbia, Carnegie Mellon. There are so many institutes all over the world that are creating so many educationists, so many students that are coming out of them and starting startups. Those startups are generating a lot of revenue, and of course they are successful in their own case. We just need to solve this basic primary problem, and I think then we'll be in a much better place. Where we discuss, Junaid have discussed that whatever crop comes out of universities, barely 15 or 20% of those people are employable. And I completely agree with you on that, because whenever we are conducting interviews, it's really hard to find good people who know what needs to be done in organization. And not everything doesn't need to be taught. There are so many things that they can learn themselves. So these are the soft skills, these are the skills that need to be taught, that you need to learn some things on your own. Everything can't be spoon fed to you in your universities or school basically.
Yeah, but system and infrastructure helps, and I think since we are just starting up, so I think if we lay the foundation in the right direction, inshallah, hopefully we will achieve that. Thank you,
Inshallah.
Mujtaba. Junaid Saab, customer retention with regards to startups. What is your opinion on it? And do you think that we mostly retain our international customers, because it's a very important regular revenue generating area? So if you
Yeah.
provide good service, they obviously would like to work with you.
Yeah, I think it's very important, and I think I would speak from my own personal experience, because what we do day in day out, we are always competing with companies from India, from Eastern Europe, from all of these different parts, because when we talk about Pakistan as a services industry, so people, don't recognize Pakistan as an outsourcing destination. So for me, as the commercial owner of this organization, it is one of the biggest challenges to, not just um, so first of all, I'm talking about the customer acquisition part. So first of all, it's very challenging for me to, sell myself. So when I'm selling my company or my services, first of all, I have to sell Pakistan. Because people, obviously, when you say you are operating out of Pakistan, there are, X number of question marks which are already assigned against you. So you don't just have to sell yourself. First, you have to sell your country. That, okay, because I've faced questions where people say, what if we wake up tomorrow and there is no internet? What if we wake up tomorrow and, there is no power or electricity? So how do you answer these questions? Honestly, and you're talking about customer retention. I'm saying that, acquiring these customers in the first place is such a challenge for us. But obviously, we play against these odds. That, for example, for a company from India or a company from, Poland or other destinations, they don't face these kind of questions. So first step is, we have to sell the brand Pakistan. We have to make it acceptable for our clients, and then we have to sell ourselves, our expertise, and our, capabilities. But I see that once we are able to acquire a customer, then customer retention, obviously, it's a big part of our, strategy. And for that, what I've seen is that once the customer engages with you, they see that there is a lot of talent in Pakistan, there is a lot of capability, there is a lot of, good people who are technically capable to handle complex problem statements. Customer, retention is not that big a challenge for us in the services industry. I see customer acquisition as a bigger challenge rather than customer retention. And for customer retention, what I would say is that, this needs to be part of the strategy of every organization, to have key account management, to have dedicated account managers for different customers, and to handle each and every customer um, in a very personalized way, where you understand their pain points, you understand their problems, and then you try to make sure that you are always delivering beyond what you promise. And that has been a source of our success. That is the reason why we are successful as an organization. And I see other companies in Pakistan who are able to deliver, I would say, very good services to their clients. Yeah, but for us, the challenge is really the first part, where we have to sell our country, and we have to sell our services in the first place. So that's where the challenges are, I believe. But you can't do anything about it.
True,
You you
true, true.
you play with the cards that are dealt with to you. So that's what we're trying to do.
So, Atif Saab, what do you think in terms of competing with international players, especially with regards to startups? Do you think there's a gap, or do you think we can improve upon it, or what are the key areas? Or and secondly, my second question is that we need to have KPIs. So, what are the most important KPIs for a startup? So, Junaid Saab, I asked the same question from you. I guess Atif Saab line is not good. Just what you just referred internet. So I asked the same question from you.
Yeah. So you asked about KPIs.
Yes,
Can you repeat the question, please?
KPIs for startup. Key KPIs for startups.
Yeah. So what I believe is that for any startup, the most important thing, I think, Mujtaba, or I believe Atif, one of them touched upon these things, that first of all, you need to make sure that you have a very soundproof business plan, and you need to make sure that you have worked out your runway, how much investment or funding you've got, and how you are going to make yourself profitable as soon as possible. Because we most of the startups that we have in Pakistan, the biggest challenge for them is they are generally bootstrapped. So first of all, you have to make sure that you are financially viable, and again, like I said, you need to make sure that the problem that you're trying to solve, it actually exists. Don't try to create problems that don't exist. So the first KPI is around sustainability, whether that is financial sustainability or um, your the reason for your existence. Why do you exist? Secondly, I think you need to make sure that uh, your long term or your short to medium term commercial strategy is aligned. You need to make sure that you identify your ideal customer profile. You need to make sure that you know which markets you are going to target, which are your key markets where you are focusing. And then obviously you need to make sure that you are able to make an effective business strategy on how to access those markets, and how you will be able to present your solutions to that market. Once you are able to figure out these two or three things, I believe you are headed in the right direction. And then obviously, as you go along and you grow, you need to see obviously your
Rightly said,
financial.
Junaid sir. Very true.
Yeah.
Because you see, we also touched upon uh, the right vision in our earlier episodes also, and briefly over here. Vision is very, very important. Normally, we have a copy pasted vision that creates a lot of challenges and problems for startups and for companies, because it's not something that you just write, it has a value, because it is the foundation for you, for any company. Because if you don't have the right vision, you will not achieve success, or the success that you are looking or aiming at. So you just rightly pointed out the right aspect, and you rightly pointed out things. But also, there are cultural differences. So, what is your opinion on that with regards to, briefly, because we are short of time? The cultural influence is also very important, because if the startups are coming out from Pakistan, like our country, so we should not adopt to areas or things that are, may not be relevant to us, and we need to see our strengths. One of the KPIs should be to play on your strength, and you should not try to do it all. So over to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's very important, like you said, having the right culture within the organization, and also making sure that you don't give up on your key values. You stick with your key values, and you are, because in the quest of success, if you end up giving up on your values, then I won't call it a success. In order for you to achieve success, you need to be sustainable, and in order to be sustainable, you need to stick to your values and stick to your culture. But what I believe is that in most of the startups that are coming out of Pakistan, I see this good thing that people, they are now more focused towards the local problems in Pakistan. I have seen startups in the health sector, in the agri sector, who are very focused to try and solve the problems of Pakistan, and the health sector and the agri sector especially. I hope this trend continues. I hope that we keep hearing about these good stories, and I think the future is bright if we are able to do that. Yeah, why not?
So, Mujtaba, there is also what we anticipate, and we see that, just like you said, that for talent is going out of Pakistan. So definitely, we have a lot of talent pool outside Pakistan. So how can we collaborate with that talent, or bring that talent to Pakistan's tech canvas?
As much as I am an optimist, I'm also a realist. If a Pakistani talent has gone outside Pakistan, to be honest, I don't see a good reason for them to come back unless they are very
No,
patriotic and they
sorry,
have this kind.
I rephrase my question. We touched upon collaboration, we touched about education, we discussed about other aspects. While I'm saying that, where you see we have a problem or we have a challenge, so we need to find a solution for it. So basically, if that talent in Pakistan who are outside Pakistan, they love their own motherland, they can contribute in various ways, in various disciplines, in having live online sessions. What I'm saying is that we need to identify as a nation, and maybe if people are listening and the policyholders are listening, that we need to have an international Pakistani database, so that we can engage them live. We can so that the youth is motivated, and see, if you have those programs, they would see that they are a product of this system only. Okay, so if they are product of the system, if they can do it, so can they. So instead of going out, the trend will change. The trend, article, the buzzword is trending, and the ratings. So we have to go, while in Rome, do as the Romans do. So this was my question.
So basically, you can have them as mentors for the young generation, and I think that could be the one aspect where they can add a lot of value, because they have learned ethical values, they have learned technical values over there that uh, people over here do not necessarily have. And I think to provide better services, to have a better tech ecosystem, we need to have such mentors available to our young generation so that they can be guided properly into the tech space, and they have to be taught the right values in order to have a successful career in front of them. So I think collaboration in terms of mentorship could be a way.
Very good. So what would you say on this, Junaid Saab? Any suggestions?
So I think, like I said, like Mujtaba was saying, mentorship is one area, obviously, where they can definitely contribute. Another thing is that, we always talk about, look, the CEO of Google is a Indian and the CEO of this company is Indian. I believe that Pakistani diaspora, especially if I talk about UK and the US market, they are now sitting at key decision-making positions in organizations. Maybe they are not there in Google or Facebook, but mid to large size
True.
organizations are being headed by Pakistanis, or Pakistanis are sitting in key decision making positions
Very true. Very
at
important
the
point.
C level. Yeah, and
Very
they
important.
are they yeah, absolutely, and they are willing to help. They are willing to listen. If you have got an interesting, proposition, value proposition or offering, they are willing to listen. They are willing to help you out, and they're willing to contribute in this ecosystem.
That's
And
what I'm saying. If we have a national database
yeah,
for such, and if the people
yeah.
who matter are engaged, that will give them confidence and may generate revenue also eventually. Because
Absolutely. So,
and
yeah,
then the skills will be polished. They will learn the trends. They will know what is happening. So
yeah, and I think, Noman sir, if CxO Global can contribute in this, I think that would be a massive contribution on part of CxO Global,
very
because
true.
as the name says, it's CxO Global. So we need to have more global C-level people of Pakistani origin present in this forum who can actually, contribute, guide, mentor, help with even maybe business development,
Very
sales.
true.
That would be an awesome thing if that can be done on
Thank you.
like a
Thank you very much.
database. Yeah,
Time is very short. Maybe we can have another session on this. And
sure,
you
why not?
rightly pointed out, but by the way, CXO Forum, I think, have one of the largest C-level pool in Pakistan. And
That's great.
we, just like we discussed, that education is key, sustainability is key, providing support to startups, providing small funds to start up from internal sources rather than going outside Pakistan, because that's also important. There are certain things we need to do for foreign direct investment in Pakistan in terms of tech. SIFC is playing its part, and I think the rest of others are also following. So hopefully, we will have a you know good revenue and good opportunities in the future. With this, I would like to thank Junaid Saab, Mujtaba Saab, and Atif Saab for their valuable contribution, giving us insights. I hope you guys liked it. Please comment and also share your thoughts. This today was a very good session, and this session can help you build your careers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.